Hello everybody, Patrick here, Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds, and I've stumbled upon a really rare Chevelle today that I'd like to share with you. I'm up here in Central Ohio, and this car is a 1969 SS396 Chevelle L78 with the L89 aluminum head engine option. Not only is this a 1 of 400 car, it's also a very low mileage survivor car that is virtually unknown to all of the muscle car and Chevelle world. So I'm very proud to bring that to you today. It's been parked in this location behind this garage door in front of you since 1981. The original owner to the car sold this car to the owner that owns the car now. He is the second owner. The original owner purchased this car at Marhofer Chevrolet in Ohio. The car was originally intended for drag racing. It was on the showroom floor. An individual ordered the car. He did not pick it up. The original owner had a down payment on a Z28. Marhofer Chevrolet contacted him and told him to come back and he could not order the Z28. And while he was there, he made a purchase on this super rare 69 SS396 L78 L89, which is really expensive for the time. According to the original owner, the car cost upwards towards $4,200, and it has 0 options on the car other than driveline performance options with the M22, the 410 rear axle, and the L78 L89 option. And one thing to point out is the aluminum head option on these cars was nearly $650 option alone, aside from the $240 or so for the L78 option. So the two together were $900 by themselves for the L78 and the L89 option. So I will do a total walk around video of this car, probably go around it 2 to 3 times and show you this car. It's original paint all around other than the driver's quarter panel and a little place on the deck lid. There was a small dent, and the individual, when he fixed the driver's quarter panel, he went on and fixed the deck lid as well. But the rest of the car is original burnished brown, root beer as some people call it, color. Really neat car with 755 trim, which I'll show you all of that. So here we go. Here we are. Burnished brown in color. It's been sitting in this location, in this garage, since 1981. It took over a week to dig this car out. There was lots of stuff surrounding it, and it was not the way you see it now. There's been a lot of work done to get this car out here in video and for me to come and authenticate and check out the car. I'll show you the back side of it. And this is the side where the quarter panel took the little small accident where it was fixed. I will show you in the trunk too later on. But you see a lot of buildup from dust on the car, on the top and down the sides. And you can see where it has been touched while we were digging it out. Car's virtually rust free. I don't think it's ever seen a day outside. The owner to the car found this car when the original owner decided to sell the car. He had originally purchased this car to drag race it and ended up, I think the story is, he got married and needed to sell the car and pulled it out in his front yard in 1975, the summer of 75, and sold the car to the owner now. And he has done nothing to this car since he purchased the car in 1975. Shut this, the lighting will work better. We'll go around the car thoroughly. You see it's got some day 2 Craigers where this car was drag raced by this individual. Now remember, the person who owns the car now was 16 years old when he bought this car in 1975. He took it drag racing a few times, and that's about it. And I have a few photos of the car from most of its life, from back 30, 40 years ago. The original owner to the car did not like the bench seat, and he is the one that changed the car to the bucket seats that you see in the car now. Like I said, the car had virtually zero options other than the engine, the performance aluminum heads, transmission, and rear axle. We removed the back seat searching for a document, but we were not successful there. This is a Baltimore car built in early March of 1969. But just to give you an idea how well this car is kept, this is a early old school, as they call it, direct bolt Cragar, 15x4 Cragar, and it is mint condition. The individual that owns the car now worked at a Shell station back as a teenager, and they sold tires and batteries, and he bought these tires back in the 1970s for this car. It's a really neat car. Again, the Burnished Brown that you're looking at now is original paint on this whole side and top, and the hood is all original paint, chrome, trim, etc., etc. Now let's lift the hood and address some of the features under the hood. The owner to the car now claims that he painted the aluminum heads, which are 391 9842s, which is the closed chamber version, which would be correct on this engine. He painted them black to disguise the aluminum head option, and they still are. A neat little factor on this car is there are two versions, the early version and the later version, with the plug that's inside of the head on the side. This side is the later version without it, and then for this side, the car actually has the plug. The engine is dated T for Tonawanda 03 March 07 for the 7th day, KG for 396 375 with the aluminum head option and manual transmission. It has a March of 69, if we can focus, C69 772 fan. The original 837 alternator is dated 9A, January of 69. Has the correct heavy duty BO radiator, dated B for February, which is correct. The valve covers do seem to be changed. Those are not the factory installed valve covers for a 69. Those are later versions, which looks more like a Corvette style valve covers. They have been changed. The master cylinder and power brake booster are original. That's dated the 42nd day, 69. Then you have the original BA coated master cylinder. Really neat car. A lot of neat qualities about the car. It's really, the date window on this car is really up in the air. This car, you know, the car was built in early March, and we have the March 7th engine. So there is speculation that this car held up the assembly line or was pulled off to the side because these special, very special engines probably were not on hand at Baltimore, because we've got an early built March car and a March the 7th engine. So there's a few days in question here. And then the body tag for this car definitely proves that as well, because it's has a projected Fisher body date of the 4th week of February, which you can see the 69 and the 2-door hardtop, PAL for Baltimore, and then the body number, which on a Baltimore car, that's not a body number. The body number would have been on the document on the body broadcast sheet, which we do not have, we have not found. It's 755 trim for black bench seat interior, which has been changed. And then you can see 6161 for Burnished Brown, upper and lower, and then 02D for the 4th week of February. But by the VIN sequence on this car, it definitely proves this car was built in the first few days of March. So that's what we have going here. I'll go around this side of the car as well. You can see now this actual wheel and tire was cleaned. Now look how beautiful that is for a virtually 40, 50-year-old Krager 15.4 on the old school shell tire. Original burnished brown paint. And you can see the buildup of the dust from sitting here. Again, it's been sitting in this location since 1981 when the individual bought this car. Bought this house. He bought this car when he was 16 years old, and he is now 60 years old. He still has it. Really neat. Now, I'm going to show you down this side the best I can. And then right in here is the area where there's been some paint repair and the deck lid, which you cannot tell with the dust on there. But you can see it's pretty much zero rust. And this car being from Ohio, it would be really eaten up with rust from the location. You can see the buildup and the dirt and debris from all the years of sitting. Again, we had the back seat out looking for a document, but we were unable to locate the body or the broadcast or the chassis sheet. One other thing that is, in my opinion, has been changed, we have Malibu in the horn piece. And this is an SS car with SS trim, so it should have an SS center emblem. So the only way that I'm going to believe that that hasn't been changed is if you would have to show me a photo of this car on the new dealership showroom floor with that Malibu in there. So I'm thinking somehow or another the original owner or something happened and he put that in there. But I want you to look at the grain, which we've talked about these before, how perfect the grain and how mint the steering wheel is on this car. Beautiful. Let's see if I can give you a shot of the mileage, which shows about, let's see, what do we have here? 2,297 miles. And that's original, folks. You can see how beautiful the carpet is in the car. Like a foot has never been in here. And we've been over this before. A bench seat car will have its own bench seat carpet. So there'll be a 6-inch gap that runs the length of the bench seat underneath. So when he swapped out into bucket seats, that there will be a gap here in the floor. And you can see he covered the gap with a piece of carpet, where it would have been a gap that would have been originally under the bench seat. And you can see the original Muncie shifter has been changed for a Hurst. But as far as options on this car, the only options that I see are driveline only. The L78 L89, the Muncie M22, it's a February dated Muncie M22, and a February dated KK rear axle 410 positraction under the rear. Aside from that, it was a bare bones, pretty much race car with less than 2,300 miles. Show you under the hood again, and I'll show you in the trunk here in just a little bit. You see the cool can for drag racing. All the bolts and everything seem to be unaltered. Plastic inner fenders for a Baltimore car. Most of you that are aware of the central office production order cars that are Baltimore cars as well. Really nice. There's about, a little over 300 or so of those cars, and then 400 of these L78 L89s. And I can tell you, in my personal opinion, I would way rather have the Super Sport trim with the lighter cylinder heads. I just don't see a plain 69 Chevelle with the iron headed with the extra cubic inches doing it for me. I would way rather have the lighter heads in the 396 with all the super sport trim. So the L78 L89 would be for me over a Copo 427. We all have our own opinions. Now I'll show you some old photos of the car from back in the day. If we have the glare. This from 1975 or so. That's a photo from 75. Same photo. There's one out in the driveway. Here's one at the racetrack. It's another one at the racetrack. And another at the racetrack. And we have some time slips here too. You can see Quaker City Dragway, July 4th, 1976. So he was having a good time on the 4th of July. And he did a 1284, a 1308, a 1249, that's his best run, a 1274, a 1265, and then some slower times, 1327 and a 1286, which is good. And these two plates were purchased in 76 here, the bicentennial year from Chevrolet. Really neat history of the cars. Now let's go around the car a little bit more. Again, the engine to this car is dated March the 7th, KG, which the L78 L89 had its own engine designation aside from the L78 engine option would have had generally for a manual transmission would have been a JD code, and this engine is a KG. Very special. Only 400 made it into cars, and then they say approximately 12 service engines. So we have one of the 412 right here in this engine bay, and it is dated within a short window of this car. So we got definitely a lot of evidence here of this being an authentic piece. Parked since 75, 76-ish, way back before they were cloning cars. Go into the trunk now, and you can look and see, look how beautiful the original Baltimore spatter paint is. Totally unaltered. And you can see the quarter panel on this side where it was patched and repaired. See all the spatter paint is just beautiful. And you can see it had the electric fuel pump. So this car was definitely a day 2 race car that never saw the street. I mean, never. And there's your inspection marks. And it looks like the guy, according to the owner, that the original, evidently he did not like decals and removed jacking and the positraction decal. It just don't get much more special than this. This is, I found and dealt with some rare cars with the Yenko Sold Nova, the really rare Hugger Orange LS6 that I've just purchased out in Nevada, the low mile, super low mile LS6 from Pittsburgh, and then this car, one of the 400 for rarity. There's rare and super rare, but this is in the ultra rare category. Anything less than 500 is super rare. And then when you add in the low miles and virtually a Survivor, original paint Survivor, to something of that's this rare, this is really an epic find. Really of epic proportions. You just don't see cars like this anymore. And again, most of the muscle car world or Chevelle world is totally unaware of this car. The doors open and shut just beautifully. I'm really proud to bring these types of finds to you. This car is not for sale. It has never been for sale. And I can tell you, if it was for sale, I would be making or negotiating a purchase for something like this. This is a very iconic, legendary 69 Chevelle. In my opinion, it's the top dog. This is, in my opinion, better than finding a central office production order 427. Way rather have the Super Sport L89. The 499 distributor is still here, dated February as well. The original carburetor got away. So we've addressed the engine bay pretty thoroughly. And we will close the hood again. And there you can see the years and years of buildup. But I can tell you, after this video, this car will be cleaned. The dust will be on the car no longer. You can see this car will clean up. Look at the shine from just this area where it was cleaned. On the original Burnished Brown paint. Really neat example of really an epic 69 Chevelle that I'm proud to bring you. If you have a Chevelle or epic muscle car you'd like to share, you can contact me at pnichols26@yahoo or on Facebook and YouTube at Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds. If you need assistance authenticating your 69 or 70 Chevelle, you can contact me as well. I hope you enjoyed the video of this epic 69 SS396 L78 L89. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. More videos on the way. Thanks again.